Hello, dear friends, and happy Sunday. Today, I would like to remind us all that the old paradigm that we have lived through for a long time and basically still are still identified with, and our whole life is enveloped in that. There's really no real way out of it because it is an illusion. But I don't want to say that as a way to just dismiss it all, bypass it all. Instead, find that truth from within, that light that you are, and allow that light to soften and shine through what we call an illusion. We can also call it the old paradigm, the matrix. There's so many words for that. I want to remind us all that this old paradigm is basically built on fear. It is it is made out of fear. I don't know, I kind of get an image of a sweater that is knitted with yarn made of fear. And that is our world. It is simply made out of fear as long as we are identified with it. And if this is true, what I'm going to share just now, you may have heard a lot about it already because there's a lot of beautiful teachers and channels and um, guides, astrologers. There's many people who are seeing things from a different angle than the third dimension, that we are basically already are in a huge, huge shift, an energetic shift, we can call it, and that this is going to continue for a while, and that we basically are popping out of the matrix of the old paradigm. Sometimes just, a little step at a time, a little softening at a time, a little unhooking at a time. That's how it is for most of us, so that we can still remain embodied and connected and not float above it in a way where we may not be able to help lift the frequencies, if I can say it that way. Although I do believe there are those who are not meant to be in the world. They live in caves and they're just spending all their time just connecting with the divine, undisturbed by the world, so that they can really bring in more of that energy. So there's so many who have been talking about this shift. I have been talking about it myself. Man, when I wrote my first book in the late 90s, I think, I started talking about that there's a new wave coming in. And if we want to come in on that new wave, we need to let go of the old wave. The old wave, just like it is with a wave, right? A new wave comes in and then it turns around and it goes back out into the ocean. And that's the image that I shared. If you can read about it in my book, if you're interested, it was just a little piece of a chapter. But something in me knew that. Don't ask me how, that's why I talk about a lot of things are just there without any specific scientific proof. But that's not how the intuition works. It just is what is here in the moment. So I already sense that there is something new coming in. And what's that? That's 25, 26 years ago. Is that right? No, I think it's more like 15 years ago, 16 years ago was Yeah, I think around 2008 or 9. Sorry about that. And now you hear so many people talk about it. I didn't talk much about it because what is this thing? But it was there. And then it's been growing and getting more real to me. And then I've been starting sensing more like, my God, it's already here. This is years ago. But I didn't know what to do with it. It's like, wow, well, it's here and it's up to me if I want to, lean into that or stay stuck here. But what we are in now is a very big energetic shift. And it looks like we are really going to start popping out of the old paradigm. And again, this is what I hear from others, but I do feel resonance. When I feel resonance, then I feel aligned with this. And then I feel I can talk about it, even though it's not my own realization yet, or at least in that way. So there's this thing that you may have heard of. It's like a comet. It's called Three-Eye Atlas. And I've heard several people talk about it now. Some scientists and the NASA and some channelers, some astrologers across the board. I like to kind of dip in and just receive different energies and frequencies around it so I can kind of not that I don't just lean to one or the other side, but I always listen to my inner how it resonates because that's all I can go to. It's all that means something to me. And there's I realize that there's a lot of fear about this comet that's going to come in whenever. Is it going to be in October or something when it's going to be close to the Earth? Yada, yada, yada. What I think is really important is if this is something that you have been reading or hearing about, that you tune into yourself and just feel into it. Feel into this comet that's huge, humongous, with a huge energetic field around it and whatnot. And it doesn't seem that people really know what it is. My sense, and take it for whatever it means, whatever it is that it's a good thing. There is an energy coming in that might help us who are stuck here on this prison planet of fear and help break through some of that density that we still live under and that many, many, many of us are breaking through by softening, by meeting it, by choosing not to engage in it, by choosing to come back to our true nature all the time. And it is a process of embodiment and letting go of the old paradigm, which is built on fear. So those who profess that it's going to be a very scary event or could be a scary event, there's all kind of, stories around it. It's fear. They're putting out fear. And we must start recognizing that. Yeah, take a breath for a moment. If it's not that weird comet, if you may not even have heard of it, I've only heard about it through a few people or a few channels online. But my energy, my response to it is, oh, they're putting out more fear. There's always, always, always something to be afraid of, right? The whole AI thing and the chat bots, which I have done some videos around not too long ago, where again, there's this whole fear paradigm around it. And then there's a whole new one, which is able to use it for awakening and letting go of the fear paradigm and choosing what is true. This is what's happening also now with this comet. Fear and maybe joy or love. Imagine that. Imagine that love could actually come to this planet in a huge way to help us connect back to it beyond the density. So the fear that's being put out about this comet, about AI, about the next virus, about the this, that, and the other, we must recognize it for what it is. We cannot just accept it right away and go with what they say, like, oh my God, it's so scary. No, we have to stop that. It's an unconscious pattern that we have been fed for eons, and we have been eating it and eating it and eating it. And I'm asking all of us now, when you get this wave of fear coming through the news in whatever way, put out your hand. Say stop. Say no. Not for me anymore. What do you think about that? Would that be a new way of meeting the world? This is huge in my experience that we can actually make that real distinction and say, if it's fear, I will not have it. That doesn't mean we turn stupid. That doesn't mean we listen to our intuition and listen to and know that something is not, this is for me, this is not for me. Of course, we have we have that apparatus inside that tells us to if it's a yes or no, if it's a left or a right, if it's a stay or a go. This is this is what we have to listen to, not these waves of fear that want us to stay identified with the matrix, the old paradigm, the illusion. I feel very strongly about it if you haven't noticed. It's fine to, engage with it and play around with it, but if it sucks your energy out of you because of fear, you're getting sucked deeper into the old paradigm, and you are most likely not going to make that shift that this new energy is asking us to start living from the heart, love, oneness, sharing, caring, everything that we feel in here that we want. There is only one way, and that is to really go there and honor it and nourish it and feed it and engage with it and make that our priority, make that our landing place, not out here in fear anymore, my friends. We have to stop it. And that's why I feel very strongly about it today, to just say it in such a clear way, hoping that you will start recognizing when some fear thing comes in the news. And I have heard of a number of other ones that will be, some say things are going to be staged so that we will be afraid. So when you start using your capacity to become aware of something, so you don't just do an unconscious, oh, yes, I'll do whatever you say. You say, oh, you catch yourself like, oh, wow, this brings in a lot of fear for me. Let me take a pause. Let me take a deep breath. Let me feel that fear And if you need to reach out to have somebody help you with being present with that fear in a new way so that you can move beyond it, so that does not stay and remain as your identity, you're welcome to reach out to me. This is what I do. I help people be present with that stuff that is so stuck so it can soften and start shedding, and you can start becoming more aware of who you truly are. And this is work. This is work. So in my book, I'm kind of hoping that this big energy is going to help us with that. And I sense that that is what is happening. It seems, again, from what I hear from people that I actually uh, resonate with, that there is a bigger event coming in the next few months, maybe the next 2, 3, 4 months, that can be completely shifting everything in a good way, in a good way. But we have to stay on that path or on that timeline, on that wavelength, so that we are part of that shift instead of holding on here to the old, because then you are not present with the new, if that makes sense. Let go of engaging with fear in the old way. Engage with the fear in a new way so that you can be present with it. And again, reach out if you need help with that. It's like moving from the old to the new, and that movement from here to here, that is where our work lies for all of us. Well, I would love to hear from you. Does this resonate? I always love to ask you to comment below, like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, and please take this as a real invitation for you to choose your heart, choose a timeline, a new timeline that is not based on fear. If we starve the old paradigm by not feeding the fear, it's just going to starve. I mean, what's it going to live on? So far, it's been living on our feeding it. So if we stop it, the more of us who stop it, it's going to get more hungry. And then sometimes it raises it, energy is like, rah, rah, rah. I was like, no, I have no food for you anymore. So that's how we really can set a clear boundary for fear in every part of life, basically, and start listening to what is really true for us. And that's, again, it takes time to get in touch with that because we have been spending all our time feeding the fear. Now we want to start feeding the heart, what is true, what resonates, what we deeply long for as a reality. And then you are naturally on the new timeline. Then you're naturally in this new energy that is coming in very strongly. And that's why so many people are waking up and are questioning things and are beginning to feel, my God, this can't be true. This is ridiculous. And those are the ones that just leave that old and start moving into a new direction energetically, so that that energy can start growing for all of us. And then we feed a whole new reality. I look forward to hearing from you always. And you're also welcome to join me this coming Tuesday, September 2nd, for my next online gathering called Feel Your Deepest Longing, Find Your Spiritual Calling. And that's exactly what I've been talking about. All right, friends, have a blessed day.